All the time we conclude probably not, because what we've come to realize is that politics has become a business and not a mission. What we've come to realize is that power always seems to trump principle, especially in Washington. That it's become an insider's game. And if you can write a big check or you can hire a fancy lobbyist, then you may get your issues dealt with. But if you're an ordinary worker in a union somewhere, or if you are a mother who's trying to figure out how to make sure your child has health insurance, or if you're a principal trying to figure out how is it that I'm going to be meeting the mandates of No Child Left Behind when I don't have enough money to buy textbooks, then you conclude that it's not going to make any difference. And maybe every 2 years or 4 years you hold your nose and you go in and you vote for what you consider to be the lesser of two evils, but you don't have confidence that politics is going to make a real difference in your lives. At most, you hope it doesn't you no harm. The reason, the answer to the question Malia asked yesterday, why are we here? It's because that's got to change. The answer is because at each and every juncture in our history, there have been moments where the situation got so serious, moments where decisions that were made today were going to so fundamentally dictate the future opportunities of our children and our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren, that at some point we say to ourselves, as a people, as a democracy, we are going to pay attention, we are going to hold folks accountable, we are going to demand that there are answers to the solutions that we face. We are tired of the victory, we are tired of the name calling. We're going to get busy and get to work and solve some of the problems right here in America. That's why we're here today. We know what the problems are. And yet we also know that the solutions to these problems are within our grasp. Think about it. Healthcare. If we're spending $1.9 trillion a year on healthcare, then there is no reason why we cannot provide health insurance to every single American by the end of the president's next term. We know how to do it. There are a lot of good ideas out there. We know that we're going to have to control costs. But the way to control costs is not just randomly lopping off care to people. The way to control costs is to say, we're going to provide preventive care to children, so that instead of having to go to the emergency room for asthma, they get treated for asthma ahead of time. You know that's what happens. We know that 20% of the patients account for 80% of the costs. And a lot of times that's because we don't have a system that's talking between various groups of doctors and specialists, and that if we have chronic care management, somebody who's looking at each patient and making sure what they need, then we can drastically reduce those costs. So that somebody who has diabetes, we might be able to give them treatment on a regular basis. And if we're paying for that, then we don't have to pay for the $30,000 amputation. We know that can work. We know for a fact that about 10% of our healthcare dollars are wasted because healthcare is the only system where you still fill out paperwork. They know how to cash your checks when you're paying your credit card. It's all electronic. They transfer those funds in a second. There's no paperwork when they're taking your money. So why is there paperwork when you need health care? We can initiate electronic billing and save money. And if we are taking all that money, then there is no reason why we wouldn't. Okay, we'll talk about that soon too. Oh, just give me a second. All right, young people, I hear you. All right, I heard you. Thank you. So, all right, guys, look, I'm not going to be able to answer your question until you guys quiet down. You made your point, so why don't you relax, all right? We'll talk about it. All right, I'm getting there. So just relax. I'm talking about healthcare right now. So we can take that money and make sure that we provide health insurance to every American, and think about the relief that the ordinary mother or ordinary father would feel. They're working as hard as they can. Some of them have got 2, 3 jobs, and they know that they are just one illness away from bankruptcy. The reason we don't accomplish these things is not because we don't have good solutions. It's because we have not brought together the country around a consensus, and because you are not in charge of the agenda in Washington. The drug companies are in charge of the agenda in Washington. The insurance companies are in charge of the agenda in Washington. And what we have to do is take that country back and start setting the agenda for change here in America. Energy. We know. All right, guys. Hey, guys, come on, man. You know, you made your point. No. We don't want to get right, but we're all in the same place. All I'm asking is just the courtesy to let me finish until we start addressing your point. That's all I'm asking for. There's nothing. We're on the same side. That's right. So, come on, guys. Crisis that's directly related to the issue of the Middle East. So we're going to talk about that. We know that energy is an issue that unless we deal with it right now, right here, then we're going to continue to have problems not just in the Middle East, but right here in America. We understand that not only is it a pocketbook issue, that each and everybody here, whenever gas goes up to $3 or $3.25 or